How you doing?
Good, how are you?
What brings you out here today?
Are you videotaping?
Yeah, I
right
am.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not interested, thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. What brings you out here today?
What's up?
I see you got, what do you got? I was just wanted to see what you brought you out here, what you're protesting on Holy Saturday. Something got you out here. I wanted to, just curious what it was.
Why are you filming?
Because I wanted to know what it was happening out here in my town. I'm just interested
It's a protest
for
for our rights.
rights. Something happened or?
The
Come
GOP
on now,
regime?
you just being a man.
No, what happened? Like, I'm just curious what happened that our rights got attacked, or what are you talking about?
Trump sent 250 immigrants to Venezuela, one of them, or to El Salvador,
Uh-huh.
and one of them had a hold order. Wasn't supposed to.
Really? And
Yeah.
and they deported him with a withhold order?
Yep.
Where are
and
you
the,
from?
The Supreme Court voted 9-0, and Trump's ignoring the Supreme Court.
9-0 to what was that about?
It was about the El Salvador.
They said that they couldn't do it, or he had to, or what?
Correct, that he has to be returned, and Trump's fighting it. But now Trump said we're going to send homegrowns.
Oh. Well, so he was a legal citizen of the U.S. then, or?
He was an immigrant that had come from Venezuela. He has a U.S. Wife as a U.S. citizen. He has 3 children as U.S. citizens. He's never been arrested for a crime. He wasn't supposed to be deported, and he was. That's one mistake. But the courts have ruled that all of the...
But he hasn't done anything wrong or anything?
Hasn't done anything wrong. No. Trump's lying about it.
So he wasn't arrested in 2019 when he got his withhold order, right? And then in 21 when he got his protective order, his wife got against him because she beat him up, or he beat her up twice. And no, that didn't happen.
No.
And then when he got arrested with 8 people in the truck transporting him from Texas with no baggage in 2022, that actually got the deportation order. That didn't happen.
The police stopped him and let him go. There wasn't anything.
So you, after you get a withdrawal order, that can't be withdrawn? Because I thought the only reason they didn't deport him with the withdrawal order was because Barrio 18 was the gang in El Salvador in his home country was going to kill him. But now they're gone, I thought. So he can go back, right?
I don't know what your point. He wants to be here.
Yeah, but he's illegal and he has a deportation order. He can't come here, though, can he? I mean, he can't stay. I mean, he is a terrorist, isn't he?
No,
He's not an MS-13 gang member?
no. But Trump,
So the tattoo on his hand is made up?
I've got tattoos on my arms.
The one that says MS-13,
No,
that's not...
no.
That's not real?
He doesn't have. No, that's not real.
That's not on his... Okay.
No.
It's, I just curious. I didn't know if it wasn't on his hand.
Go take a look at the video.
Oh.
And the senator from.
So we had a senator went down to see him?
Yep.
But we haven't gone over to see any of the Hamas hostages with senators or anything, have we?
I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for talking to me anyway. Courts. How you doing? Hi. Hi. What brings you out here today? Save our democracy. Are we at a threat of that today, or the veteran upholds the country? This veteran. What veteran is that?
Me.
You're AWOL?
That's why I chose
It's that doesn't make sense. It says
so people don't know why.
okay. Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks. So anyway, that's what's going on.
Fun now, public.
You guys, you're being recorded, so say what you want to about Trump, okay? And all this muscuts.
A what? I just wanted to see what you guys were out here on Holy Saturday.
Jesus would be here with us.
Woody Bill?
Jesus would be here with us because he wouldn't be doing what Trump is doing.
What's Trump doing?
What's he doing?
Yeah, Bill, what's he doing?
Well, look what he's doing. He's taking away food from hungry people. He's stopping cancer research. He's
taking
laying off
food.
people at the VA, cutting food programs. Yeah, he's cutting freedom of speech at colleges and stuff.
He's cutting the freedom of speech?
Yes,
By how is he doing that?
telling them what they can say or threatening them with cutting their funding by
We've had free
what they're
speech
saying
zones.
or not saying.
What about the free speech zones that have been going on for like 10 years in the colleges where you can't speak unless you go to a special place? Isn't that a violation of freedom of speech? Hi. That's a nice term. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Nice to see you. What are you guys up to? Oh, hands. Excellent.
Are you
I
a
am.
reporter?
Huh? Yeah.
you a reporter?
I'm working on a story, yeah.
For who?
Myself?
Okay. Free speech and all that.
I agree. 100%.
If it causes any problems, though, we'll have you out of here real fast.
I wouldn't cause a problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll just
That's on the left side has violence. I don't believe in that. Trump.
Come on, you just
Destroying all our military alliances.
yeah, you just
How about trying to take Canada as a 51st state
Put this on your
take
show.
control of Greenland?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Would you come with me, please?
Oh, absolutely. What do you...
You guys, we have someone report. I am breaking up this conversation because it's about to go sky west and crooked.
It is? Why would that happen?
I don't know. People are just goosey about having people videotaping them or all.
Well, I don't understand if a protest is to change minds and be in public, then why wouldn't you want it to be public? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
If you don't want to be videotaped, you're in public doing a protest to change mind, right?
Please let me finish.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it is a courtesy to ask people if they object.
But you're in public in front of a street with signs.
Yeah,
That's the
but
whole
if
point of the
you're-
protest, isn't it?
Yes, it is,
Uh-huh.
but I still think it's a courtesy.
I
I'm one of the organizers. I would ask.
right,
you
but
to do that.
but you're sitting in front of the street in public. How does that make sense? You don't want to be seen, but you're in public. Then you would go hide in a room somewhere and do it, wouldn't you? The idea is to change minds, so wouldn't you want as much publicity as possible? I would think that would be what you're looking for,
if
correct?
I knew what you were going to be doing with it,
Why would it matter? You should, if your policy is strong, you should be proud and be able to speak it at any time, right?
do you see anybody here who's not proud?
I see a lot of people that won't talk to me,
Uh-huh.
and are trying to demonize me just because I'm asking questions. That's all.
They don't know who you are.
Why would it matter? You should have an argument that is strong and that you should be able to stand up and proudly display.
We have.
Right?
We are.
Okay.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Millions destroying.
Hey, there's no consent to videotape.
You're in a public space that doesn't exist.
Well,
No.
let's move on away from our kids.
Well, that you don't have. That's great. You can ask, but you don't have the right for
I'm not
that.
gonna argue with you. We're just gonna ignore you, man.
Okay,
Ignore this.
that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
No, hi. How you doing? Appearance to L.
What's your name?
Mike Forsman. How you doing?
Were you the county commissioner?
Nope. No, I was not.
But you're part of the Forsmans
Yes. Yeah.
clan.
The clan, huh?
No, because my dad, Don Minty.
Uh huh.
I mean, so did you know Flossie?
She's my grandmother. Yep.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So who was your dad then?
Mike.
Mike Forsman.
Yep.
Okay, and
Yep.
you're Mike too?
I am. Yep.
Okay, well, I'm Val Minty. I want to meet you.
Fantastic. Pleasure to
And
meet
so
you.
Don Minty was my dad.
Okay.
And he and Dale Forsman were.
Yeah.
Was Dale a 1941 grad? Dale and
Yeah, that'd be about right. I'm trying to remember what time when he
Yeah,
graduated. My dad
yeah.
was 67, and so that would be about right. Yeah.
Yeah, so my
Yep.
dad was 1941.
Yeah, and
They
then
were
he
classmates.
and then he went over into the Marines and went and stormed the beaches.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
Yeah, great.
But anyway, I'm on probably the different side of the aisle than you.
And that's
but
fine.
We're all friends and,
We
and neighbors
100%. I just came out because I'm thinking, geez, Holy Saturday. You think people won't be with the kids? Must be pretty important. I want to know what everybody's out here for.
I know, isn't it amazing?
And it's hard to get people to tell me what they're standing out here for. I
know.
curious. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, but so I'm going to tell you on this one.
Okay. I see you've got El Salvador and you have billionaires fair
I
share.
don't think that it's. I'm a lawyer, and
Okay.
I mean, I have both Republican. I practice law with the Republicans,
Of course.
Democrats,
Yep.
for God's sakes. But I just think, how can you argue with billionaires paying their fair share of taxes when the middle class does? How can we argue with that? I mean, billionaires should pay their fair share.
Well, I guess where we'd probably disagree is what is fair.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's where I get to is, I mean, what are we fair? Because I agree. I think we should get rid of the whole tax code completely and just go to either we go to a sales tax or something to get rid of it, because the problem is everybody gets argument with loopholes and stuff. And then you go, okay, if we tax the rich more, they're just going to most of those people don't have independent wealth. It's investments in companies that they have. So then it just raises, you know what I mean? So if you're going to take that money, they don't have money in their hand. They have wealth that's on paper that's invested in
right.
his
So,
company,
right.
that company.
Right.
And if you go, okay, you're going to tax them, well, they have to sell off their shares in that company to pay the tax because,
Right.
you know what I mean? So where do you draw the line? What's fair? I don't know. We'll probably never agree on that.
I know. Okay, but yeah.
So yeah, but I do agree that our tax system needs to go. The idea that we're paying the IRS to audit us because it's so complex, why don't we ditch the whole thing, save all that money, and just go to either a flat tax or sales tax, or get rid of all the income tax and go to something else, something better.
Yeah.
But I think everybody disagrees on that. There's been 1,000 people with different plans and nobody can agree. So,
Yeah, I know. And
you know.
why make a tax code that's so complicated nobody could possibly understand?
Well, in Biden's tax code, I mean, if you look at it, actually ended up costing us more, and the billionaires got more breaks than under Trump. So, I mean, his is supposed to expire here soon, and if it does, it's going to cost the average middle class around $3,000, which I don't want that to happen. I want his tax cuts to stay in place. So,
But you're talking about the ones that are middle class.
yeah, I don't want the tax breaks taken off of the middle class.
I mean, you consider yourself middle class.
Yeah, and I don't want that break.
Of course. But there's a way that I think that the last time that the tax code was really fair in terms of a higher rate for the billionaires and a fair rate for the middle class and the lower class was under Republican Eisenhower.
Well, how
in the
high should it
1950s.
be? I mean, that's the
But,
thing.
I mean, I
How
know-
high do you go? 50, 60%? What do they get to keep?
No, I know what you're saying. But Eisenhower had a very fair tax rate. But anyway,
Yeah, besides that.
I know.
We'll
I
probably
know,
never
Mike.
get to that rate.
I know. But Mike, we could have a conversation.
I know, it would go on and on, just like everybody when you get
I
on
know.
stuff like that, but
I know. But anyway, I'm a fan, you're a fan, so what can I say?
no,
All right.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming to talk. That was really nice.
Don Minty, he's dead now.
Yeah, as my father.
Dale and,
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Right, and Flossie, yep.
yeah,
But-
so anyway, I knew them, and Flossie was a doll.
She was, yep. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
This is my husband, John.
No equal. Defend. Hi, how you doing? Good. A little cool. Summer's coming someday, they say.
First we need spring.
Right.
It's early spring.
Well, I think we're on fourth spring now. Orange is the bleed. I took an oath to protect the Constitution. How you doing? How are you? Like your sign, thanks. Braking. Stop braking. How you doing?
Hi.
Good.
Good. How are you?
Good. Who are you? What do you need backbones for?
Well, Congress has been letting the executive branch do things that are Congress's responsibility.
Agreed, 100%.
So yeah, so that's what I'm concerned about, and then there's this
Stop breaking the
things. Stop breaking
things. Like what do we break? What are getting
Well, like
broken?
Trump just this week had put a stop to AmeriCorps volunteers.
Okay.
And, AmeriCorps, they
Yep.
build homes for veterans. They go into the schools and help tutor
Yep.
people.
Yeah, that was
so-
created under Obama, I believe, if I remember, wasn't it? Or
Oh,
expanded under him, wasn't it?
I don't remember when it was
I'm
started.
pretty sure, because that was like his big initiative was to get civilians active in like a pseudo governmental agency. Like,
it's like a Peace Corps
Yep.
domestically.
yeah, I think that was his big pet
That's
child.
positive. Why would you want to put an end to that? And then he's proposing a budget plan that would include zeroing out Head Start.
Oh, okay.
Head Start, a lot of our families in this community rely on Head Start because there isn't much childcare available. And besides the fact that it gives kids a good start in education, but is proven. So there's that, and there's the threats to Medicaid and how they're harming Social Security.
I thought he said they pretty much unequivocally multiple times said he wasn't touching either of those.
They've said that,
Right.
but
Whoa.
but then I've heard, I don't know, I've heard different things about that.
Sure.
That it's not possible to go forward with their with the budget they're proposing without cutting into Medicaid. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. But
Oh, I know.
that's a
I
big
agree.
Worry of mine because
Sure.
my parents just got on Medicaid, and if they didn't have that, they'd have to move out of the nursing home.
Agreed.
We don't have the means to care for
No,
them.
I know it's a big deal. I mean, but the question is, what if we don't make any cuts? Say we don't, and we just keep going as usual, where we're going broke and we're 36 trillion in debt, and our interest payments are being almost as much as the military. Where do we go from that? When do we go broke? Where nobody buys our bonds anymore and the dollar collapses? Where does that go?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one thing that would really help us not go broke would be to take back the big tax cuts for billionaires and corporations.
Well, even if we tax them at 100%, the billionaires, it would only keep us running for like a couple months. So I don't know how that's going to solve anything.
I don't know the details of that. But
It's literally, if we took all the 1%, all their money that they have, it will only run the government for literally a very short period, and then all that wealth's gone, and we're broke again. So I don't. That's not a solution. We have to come up with something else that's going to work, I would imagine.
I would agree that there's a lot that's broken.
Yeah. Yes.
But going through and just slashing without coming up with better ideas. I mean, even if you do a building project around town, you need to do a feasibility study. If you're going to do a big building.
Yeah, but have you ever seen how much money we waste trying on red tape to create something that doesn't need the red tape?
I agree.
And then the companies don't even build, and then we don't have any income.
I know, but I'm saying at least, I've questioned in the past why are we doing, what the sense was of a feasibility study.
We have to have some.
There should be some
Absolutely.
way to plan things out.
Agreed.
And assess,
But I mean, isn't when Dodge is going through and looking at absolute waste that is just corrupt waste of taxpayer dollars, and they're open about everything that they're finding on a website, and they post it daily, and they show everything that they're doing? Isn't that transparent, showing that they're finding waste of taxpayer dollars?
I'm not sure that they're showing everything that they're
You can go onto their Twitter feed, and they literally have a page, and it shows everything that they're finding daily as they find it.
But then they list $80 billion of savings, and then a day later they have to fix it to 80 million because they had a math error. That's really concerning.
Sure. I agree. Yeah.
It sounds like you have some agreements
Oh,
and
absolutely.
some concerns.
Well, we're both human, so we're going to agree on something,
Yeah,
aren't we?
Right.
But
And-
politically, we probably won't on some things, and I don't think anybody here agrees on everything.
Right, exactly.
I mean, even among yourself, you probably don't
Correct.
on 100%. So
Correct. And that's good. That's what our system is all about.
exactly, I agree. Well, thank you for talking, and I appreciate you having us.
What's your name?
Mike Forsman.
You're Mike Forsman.
Junior.
Okay, Heidi Mann.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. What are you doing with your